Did I get here? Where do I begin? Where can I feel safe?
Who can I talk to? Does anybody understand me? Where can I turn to?
Let's start the conversation. What's going on today, y'all? It's your boy Parham.
And I'm Brittany.
I'm Ryan.
And this is another episode of Sober Talk presented by Hunter House, man. And we have another great episode, as always.
Thank you, thank you.
What we getting into today, Brittany?
We are getting into identity, right? Yeah. But I think we starting off with a little icebreaker. What was the icebreaker again, Ryan? Because I forgot.
The thing that we want to do better this week.
Okay.
So I would probably say the thing that I want to do better this week is not eat out as much as I've been eating out over the past 2 weeks. I have to hold myself accountable, but of course I went out for breakfast today with one of my sponsees.
Ryan.
But I didn't pay for it.
Oh, okay, good. It don't count.
He paid for it. It's a long story, but
Did y'all go to a restaurant to eat?
yeah, we went to a restaurant. It was, last time I paid for his meal was his year, sober, and I was like, all right, I got you. And then he was like, don't even worry about it.
That was nice.
I got you.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
That was nice.
So,
After a year, you got to start paying sponsee.
Okay, something. You got a little, what they say when you get the green taquita, you got a little money in your pocket now?
You feel me? Because I'm looking, is that green taquita? Oh,
Even though that's 30 days, ain't it? Like that's, or 60 days. No, you don't.
I always thought the green just meant go, like keep going,
I like that.
you know?
I think that they should start using
I
that.
forgot what colors, because I feel like it varies at every meeting.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely does. What about
One thing I can get better at this week, and I literally just thought about that, is denying my flesh. Like, I feel like I've been going a lot with just what feels right. Like, and sometimes what feels right isn't always right. Like, whether it's just like me taking that extra snack or like me acting out on something that I probably shouldn't act out on. Just stuff that feels good to me in the moment that probably in the long run won't. That's something I want to work at.
What's up?
Yeah.
I think for me, I would say just being more consistent.
Okay, I like that.
I started going to the gym, then I stopped for about a week. So be more consistent.
Come on, consistent.
That's it.
Consistency.
You know, you got the wheels and whatnot, and you had to go,
Ain't went once when you had the car.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hey,
It's like,
my work schedule switched up, you feel me? So it was like,
you had that moment, you were like, all right, let me get this nap in here.
Understood.
but there ain't no excuse though. That should still be able to get up, show up. I mean, that's what we
Understood.
should do it. So
Yeah.
thank you guys for holding me accountable.
We will. Next week, we checking back in with Ryan. Y'all get on Ryan in the comments too.
That's cool. I could take it.
And get on all of us. Hold all of us accountable. Make sure Ryan didn't go out to eat next week. And just make sure I'm still just being the good person that I am. You know, like, I don't really have.
I like how that went. It was like, make sure he doing it.
Nah, I'm just
He
talking
doing
mess.
this, and I'm just consistent.
No, I'm
Curious about
joking.
what she actually meant, but I don't know.
What, with denying my flesh?
Yeah.
Like, I just, okay, why you didn't ask? Like, I just, okay, like, you know how they always, like, you always hear the saying where people say, like, go with your heart, or, like, go where your heart tells you. Sometimes our hearts can be deceitful.
Okay.
Like, extremely deceitful. So, like, I'll just go with what feels good. If I'm like, I know I don't need to, for example, I've been eating a lot of sweets this week. Just being more disciplined. Like, just because sweets feel good to me, don't mean that I need to eat the sweets. Or just because I feel like cussing somebody out, don't necessarily mean that I need to cuss them out just because it feels good in that moment. You know, like,
Because somebody out there now.
I could just, yes.
Really?
Yes, because it's anger, or it's like your pride, or it's like your ego. You want to get the last word, and that's very like, especially, it's not walking in your spirit.
I need to deny my flesh then too.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, wait a minute. Break this down for me.
Yes.
Because that's the first time I've ever heard that saying before.
I'm gonna send you some stuff on it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Learn something new today. Every day here in Sober Talk.
Honestly, she had said something last week when you would put your foot on the ground.
Oh,
And
that's it. We covered by the blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was like,
I know.
I'll break that down for y'all too.
These isms, they're Brittany isms.
There is some.
isms, man. That's a new one. You know what? That's what we gonna do. We gonna start having Brittany isms. What's the ism for the day?
What's the ism for today? Okay, let me get into it.
get into it. So what's going on?
Okay, we go ahead,
You
Ryan.
said identity.
Yeah.
So what that look like to y'all, man? Especially, what does your identity look like before addiction, after, and today?
Okay. Oh, like it's such a broad. Okay, I'll start with what was my identity before addiction. Before addiction, I don't know if it's like a blockade where I don't remember a lot of things before addiction, or if it's like trauma, the stuff that I just put off. But I really don't really remember who I was before addiction, because I think that before drugs and alcohol, the addiction was still there. Like I still had the behaviors. So I don't think I ever really formed an identity. Like my mom would always I would always hear my mom say things like, "You're very strong-willed," or like, "It's very much your way or no way," or like, "You're just like." I always had like these, I don't know, like leader qualities, or I don't know, but I can't really think of like much of who I was before addiction. It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
How about you?
I was the typical jock, you know. I would play football, basketball, like just a good kid that didn't really have any care in the world. And then high school was just open up a whole new world. And it just put me in a place where you want to be a part of the cool kids. So because you want to be a part of the cool kids, they're drinking on the weekends, they're smoking. I went to a predominantly all-white high school, so it was kind of like, you want to smoke this, you want to drink this, and me being in sports and whatnot, it just wasn't in the cards. But I quickly changed up, and it was funny. I was telling y'all beforehand, I was talking to my middle school buddies, and they're like, "Man, Ryan, it's crazy. You were the guy that got us on the drugs and alcohol in high school, and now you the guy that's telling us to get off it." And look at how that works out.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much, and it reminds me of my identity. I was the persuasive one.
Yeah.
I was the leader of the group, and I had those type of qualities where I'm doing it, so it's cool. You guys got to do it. Peer pressure.
Yeah.
But not to a point where it's like we're not going to be friends anymore.
Yeah.
It's just I'm showing you how great it is.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of my identity, was had the power of influence.
Same. That's a good word.
Brings up a good question, man. But I know for me it was just, I really didn't care. I was like, fuck you. That was my attitude, especially people like, oh, you're arrogant, you're cocky. And I would really be going through life like, how? So then I started to adapt that. So I had a very false identity early on. But what brings me to the question I was talking about, like for people to say everybody has like leader qualities, do you think hearing that at a young age kind of could be a bad thing or a good thing? Because like hearing, oh, you're a leader, you're this, you're that. So then it gives you like that mindset of, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. It like kind of give you power too soon. Great power comes great responsibilities.
I think it depends on how you're being brought up when it's told to you. Like, and sorry, Mom, but I really wasn't held accountable a lot growing up. So I think that if, like, I was very, like, I could burn a house down and my mom would be like, she was just like, still, like, she didn't do that. Like, no. So it was like, and I think that was just her showing her way to love me. So I think that if it's being ministered to you correctly, like, yeah, you are a leader, but you need to know how, you do have a spirit of influence, but you do have to know how to use that. I think kids can know that at a very young age, and I know that they can know that because I'm working with a girl right now, Mariah, and she ministers to little girls, and she teaches little girls about who they are at a young age, but in a way that will bring them up in like it's in a different direction than I was brought up. Like, you know what I mean? So I think it just depends on how it's told to you, like, what you see. Yeah.
Yeah. I was definitely a leader because my dad, we had an AAU basketball team, and because I'm the coach's son, I was the leader of the group. And they would always look to see what I would do. And because I was bad, my parents had a pool in their backyard, and I would be jumping off the top slide, and my dad would be like, don't do that. And then next thing you know, I'm like, hey, we're not gonna do that. And the next thing I'm the main ringleader in jumping off the slide, knowing it's dangerous and it's safe. And that was just literally how my childhood went, where I was the leader and I would go right when I was supposed to go left. And I would bring my friends along with me, but I would be the kid who would be smiling, but secretly I had a rock behind my head. So I know you probably ain't heard that before, but I had to pull it out. But yeah, man, I had the charm.
Yeah.
So it's like, because I had that type of power, because my dad was the coach and I was the coach's son, we did everything, and was it always good for us? Absolutely not. But because we were good at basketball, I got away with it.
Yeah.
And that was my personality. That was my identity as a kid. It's like I was the spoiled kid, but, I still had a little bit of that dark side with a little bit of light.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay. Maria, I know you got some questions, man. Let's dive deeper into it.
I do. So we just talked about who you were before addiction became a major part of our lives. But before you guys became addicts, were you confident in who you were?
That's a good question. Yes and no. Like, I was confident. On the outside, I was confident. Like, I would just do my own thing. I always went to a beat of my own drum. Like, I really never cared and meant that shit. I know we hear a lot, when people say they don't care, they care. But inside, it was like, okay, who are you? I always asked him, I just never really knew who the fuck I was. So I guess that's kind of like not knowing who I am. It gave the okay to just not care. Because it was like, well, shit, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I like, don't like this. So I really don't care. But I didn't think of it at that time, young, that, hey, that's a tool. You have a free thinking mind. You have personality of yourself. You can do without doing what the masses is doing.
Right.
So it kind of, like you said earlier, immature and not knowing exactly the power. It's like, okay, I didn't know that mindset that I had was, oh, hey, I am what's called a GDI.
What is that?
Goddamn individual.
Oh, okay. Never heard that.
That's
GOT,
God.
right? Got, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was got darn independent.
Gosh darn individual.
Got you.
Was I confident? Yes, in the role I was in. Because I went to all black middle school, I was confident in that role. Like, I was the man in that role. And then when I went to high school, in that predominantly all white school, confidence plummeted. And stepping into that territory, I didn't know anybody. I had one friend with me, and we followed each other around because we didn't know anybody. We're coming from Southfield, and we're in Beverly Hills, we're in Birmingham. So, of course, no confidence whatsoever for the first 2 years, 9th grade and 10th grade. But then once it's like, okay, you're athletic, go play football. So that was like somewhat of an identity there. And I always had basketball, so that would be my safe space, is going to basketball. Football was uncomfortable. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't really know any other plays, but I still had a personality. So no matter what, like, even if I struggle with the confidence on the inside, because I related so well to other people that I could fake it till I made it.
Right.
And then because I was good at faking it till I made it, then alcohol and weed and other drugs were introduced to me.
Oof.
And it kind of led me down that path of, now you really don't know who you are. Like, are you an athlete? Are you a drug addict? Are you an alcoholic?
Right.
You just are looking for wherever the party's at, you know?
I definitely can relate to you saying fake it till you make it, but also I can relate to going from all black school to an all white school.
Yep.
I grew up on the east side of Detroit, and then my mama just bam pulled me out at 12 to go to a all white school. And I remember, and I was like, go to school, and then I would come home, go to my grandma's house with all my cousins, and like, I was two different people. And this is like, and as you were saying, it was making me bring it up. Like, I used to try to be white. And when I say I used to try to be white, like, I used to like try to do my hair. Like, I used to like, why my hair don't get straight like that? Like, I used to try to like dress like them. I didn't, because I'm like, well, you know, like, they kind of cool. Like, I used to like conform to who I was around at a young age. And then I would go back home to like my family and be like, yeah, girl, so, and then I'd get to them and like talk, like I would switch my voice. So I was outwardly confident, but inwardly I truly didn't know who I was. I didn't have an identity. And now I'm starting to think about this, and I'm so glad we're having this conversation because I didn't have an identity for so long because I literally was just trying shit. Yeah, like shape-shifting, trying shit, chameleon, like putting on different, all right, let me put on this Hollister shirt today and then go home and put on a Rockaway outfit. Like, girl, what? Like, so so that confused me a lot. And then being introduced to drugs and alcohol, that just made it even worse. Yeah, like 110%. And yeah, so definitely wasn't confident. I portrayed as confident though. I was really good at portraying as confident for a long time.
It's a skillfully crafted mask.
Yes, yes.
And when you are able to craft that mask at such an early age, it's just kind of the MO. Oh, this is how I stay safe.
Yeah, this is how I stay safe.
I just keep going just like this with this mask on and not really know who I am, but I can craft this mask for this group of people. I can craft this mask for this group of people because it works.
Yeah.
And I see it because I got friends.
Yeah.
I got associates.
Right, got a boyfriend.
I got all these things that I want. And it's supposed to have some happiness, but because I still am struggling inside.
It's not
there.
It's temporary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
So do you guys know of like insecurity and wounds that like you were trying to escape? Like if you can think back on it now, were there any insecurity and wounds that you were trying to escape that young?
Fear. It's always comes back to fear. It's always the fear of, well, first I got abandoned because I abandoned my friends that I made in middle school. I abandoned my friends before that in elementary school because I was going to Catholic school. And then I'm in this new place, and then my friend, my closest friend that lived down the street from me, abandoned me, or he left, he got kicked out because he didn't live in a district. So he left after sophomore year, so I'm like, oh, I really don't have anybody that I know here at this school. So yeah, the fear of abandonment, loss of direction, rejection, big insecurity there.
Yeah.
I would have to say the same, man, abandonment.
Yeah.
You know, it was daddy issues. Because my dad was like my biological father. He was in it. I could remember distinct times where he came in, and then it was like he snatched that away. And I was like, damn, shit. All right. And then like friends. I had a group of friends. We were close, and all of a sudden, they were gone because of some shit. And I'm like, damn, all right. So then I just kind of grew up like distant. Keep that back. And it's crazy because sometimes I'm breaking it now, but sometimes I still would do it. Like if I feel myself getting close to people, I'm like, right. I'm gonna leave you before you leave me, buddy. But,
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm just not starting to break that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I feel
definitely
that.
fear of abandonment. So it just put on that personality of I'm the guy that everybody wants to be around.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how Parham was created. The old Parham.
Yeah.
By the way.
Right. This is new one. Parham 2.0.
2 working to the old.
Mine was definitely the same. I lost my dad at 2 years old, so I was, I didn't know at the time because I was 2, so I didn't think that it affected me so much until I started to notice my patterns in my relationships, right? Like the fear well, the abandonment, first of all, and then having the fear of being abandoned was why I jumped into the relationships I did with the men that I did, and the way I looked for love. And like, it all started to come back to me but it didn't come back to me until I got sober, until I started working recovery, that I started to notice that rejection for sure was a big one. That was a deep wound. I think that I don't even know where I picked that up from though still. I first thought it was my dad, but I think just growing up, I suffered a lot of like betrayal in my friendships, like at a very young age. I remember like just being, I had the dirtiest of betrayals in my friendship, and I think that was something else and then in turn, it made me a bad friend. Like, I didn't know how to be a bad friend because of the people that I surrounded myself with. So it's like a pattern, right? Like, this happens and then you become this way and now you doing this to people. So yeah, it was definitely those type of things. Insecurity, not knowing myself. I think it all though stems from identity. I think identity is the core of everything else, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I see it. Because identity is just that big word where it can mean so much, but then it breaks down in those subsets of insecurities, fears, anxieties.
Yeah.
And it's all about, I always tell people there's a file cabinet. And there's a file cabinet when it comes to like relationships, and there's a file cabinet that comes to like childhood wounds.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you first get sober, they both fly open. Yeah. And you got to just pick up all the papers and try to organize them and whatnot, and like kind of understand what exactly they mean. But for me, it was mainly the first one where it was the childhood wounds and whatnot, and then the relationships came later. Yeah. And that's when I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm starting to understand the patterns, the cycles, the reasons why I do that, the reasons why I get into relationships and get out real quick. Because it's like I see a certain pattern, I hear a certain red flag, and before I can even really uncover it, gone. Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah.
So, moving into addiction, active addiction, do you think addiction replaced parts of your identity or added to parts of your identity?
Like I said, it created. It definitely created. I know the time, place, everything. But especially when I moved to Florida. And when I moved to Florida, that's when I went to
I forget you moved to Florida. I forget you moved to Florida, sorry.
Yeah. I was in Florida, and that's where I was at the PWI. And it was like, oh, yeah, that's what was the cool black guy. Because, I mean, they had some money. They was paying for the drinks. So I was like, fuck it. And then when I went to a HBCU, that's where it amped up. Because then that was like, fuck it, I'm throwing the parties, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Everybody here, my house was the house to go to. And it was you thinking this, oh, yeah, man, everybody know Parham. You can't go on campus and not hear go to a Parham set. And it was like, yeah. So it was definitely an addiction. Starting the beginning of my addiction is where it was pretty much bad, and that's how I adopted that shit. You know.
For me, I was the party girl. I was always the fun friend that everybody knew they could call, and I would turn up with them. It's funny because my friend's birthday was yesterday, and I was at her birthday party, and she was like, "It's so crazy because last year it was your birthday. Like, you were the party. Like, it was like Britney's party, and now I'm not. You know, I don't drink, so it's different. But definitely was always the life of the party girl. But also there were like dark sides of my identity that came from addiction. Like, I was a fighter. Like, I was very angry. I used to fight. I think I got into a fight all the time. I was always suspended from school for fighting in college, fighting throughout my 20s, fighting. Like, you know how they say on The Color Purple, like, all my life I had to fight. Like, that's how I felt growing up, because I just was always fighting. I was angry, and that was from me feeling like I had to prove myself, because people used to think, oh, like, I can fuck with her because she just, you know, this girl, like this pretty girl. And that used to piss me off. So, and I used to have to fight. But then it became a part of my identity. Like if I'm just mad, now we fighting. Like it's nothing to talk about, especially if I'm drunk or if I'm high. Oh, it's just even worse. You couldn't talk to me. It really was no talking to me. Those are two of the main things I could remember. Like deep was those two, party girl and angry. I was one or the other. Either I was a happy drunk or I was an angry drunk. It was like no in between, no mellow. So yeah.
I can say absolutely party guy, party boy to the max. I already had the personality, and you just add the drink, turn it all the way up. No matter what, I would be the one where it's like, Ryan, you coming? Absolutely. As soon as I walk in the door, shots.
Yeah.
And I had the party house in college. In high school, it was a little mild, just because I was still easing my way into it, and you know you had to play the politics game when you wanted to go to quote unquote white parties. It's just you had to not tell everybody about it. You had to be very, very exclusive. But when we got to college, man, in the same mask for the black crowds, the white crowds, everything like that, I can easily sculpt it and change it. And I can be at a frat party on Wednesday, and I can be at a Sigma party on Thursday,
right,
and not miss a beat. So yeah, it was just, and every single year, freshman, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, just turn it up. I mean, I was a fighter a little bit just because it was always sports. It was always basketball. It wasn't really no drinks or drugs involved. It was just like, what you say to me on the court? All right, let's go ahead and let's settle it then. But when it came to the parties, I just always knew how to talk. Like I always knew how to manipulate. I always knew how to move the chess pieces here, here, here. I had somebody else fight my battles, or I can get my own free shit. I didn't have to lift a finger because I was the person where it's like, as long as Ryan's getting here, as long as Ryan's here, the girls are here, the music's here, everything is great. And that was just kind of the MO with me, and it was I got lost in it, and I got lost in it because I never wanted the party to end. I wanted it to keep going after college. It's like, okay, the music has stopped. Why are you still going?
Why are you still going?
Yeah.
It's day 5.
On everything. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, buddy, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's the after.
Yeah.
Like, there is no party tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's crazy when they get that bad to where it'd be like that. It was like that for me. It'd be a Tuesday, we partying. And I know earlier this week we just talking about clubs. As much as we talk about partying, I always hated clubs. Always. I hate clubs.
I love them too.
Every time I threw a party, it was always at my place or somewhere. And I think that's what kind of turned into that closet drunk.
Okay.
Because it was like, no, come to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like you said, when the party was over, fuck it, I'm boogie by myself then, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, the manipulative part though is crazy. Like, I was very manipulative to the point where it would like spill over into my family, into my, like I didn't know how to turn it off at a point where it's like, oh, I'm gonna get what I want. I can get what I want. I knew how to, people used to like always tell me I knew how to get like what I wanted out of men. And it was like, I started like doing that to my friends. I started like doing that to my family. I just started like, that was me, like a part of my life. And I'm like, I like now take a step back and let that, and it's very hard sometimes to not be, but that's a deny your flesh type of thing. Okay, that's an example. But like just stuff like that, like just knowing how to say like to get what you want, and like I don't know. It was just like I was sick.
But it's crazy to say it, but you knew the game and you knew people.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Like you knew people from an energetic standpoint. You just knew what you could say, even though you knew it was wrong, but you're like, this is what I want.
Yeah. And that's all that matters.
Make me feel better.
Yeah.
Even if it really doesn't. Because you're trying to fill a void.
Yeah.
And that void it doesn't come from manipulating and moving pieces and anything like that, even though it feels good in the moment. Yeah. Because sooner or later you look back and you're like, I shouldn't have done that.
I shouldn't have did that. Yeah.
But it's too late.
Yeah. Or even like I used to not care and this is nothing like, and this is a lot of reasons why I used to get into it with a lot of women, was like, I didn't care if that was your boyfriend. Like, if you wasn't my friend, and I'm like, girl, I don't owe you any loyalty. And I wouldn't care if I hurt that woman in the process because I can get something out of that man. Like, I'd be like, girl, that's not my friend. And then in the turn, now me and a girl arguing, now we fighting. But then I think back, like now, which we'll get to, is like, I can't even think about, even if I don't know another woman, I can't think about hurting her and being like, oh, I don't owe her no loyalty, I'm not okay with that. But before, I did not care in my addiction stage. Like, you said you got a girlfriend, what do that got to do with me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Closed off.
Yeah.
Emotions they're not there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So, when you got sober, did you feel like you had to rebuild your identity from scratch? So now we're moving into our sobriety state after addiction.
Absolutely. I absolutely had to. And I was talking to some of the guys at my job about this, because by the time I got out of it, my identity was, oh, who are you? I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm this, I'm that. And like, as I got on further into my sobriety, I'm like, no, that's not your identity. Those are attributes of who you are. And who are you? You take all the shit away, who are you? And I had to start from there. And that's where, in my discovery of my identity, I used to be like, why can't I I wish I was normal. But then if I was normal, I would have just been a responsible fucking adult. I would have been a man. So that's what rebuilding. I rebuilt how to be a man. So, and I had to go through trials, tribulations. I went through some Bible scripture shit. One day I'm gonna just make a book said
Not you, Joe.
Bruh. Yeah. In addiction, you go through some shit like that. The Book of Job, that shit hit home. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm waiting on the blessing part, dog.
Yeah. Yeah. He was waiting for a long time.
I ain't waiting that long. Hey, we finna go into sober part now. But yeah, you gotta definitely rediscover yourself and go through whatever the journey is. I see a lot of people rush it. I see a lot of people try to make things that's not attributes instead of the actual person. So I think that's important to take away all the stuff, take away the family, take away money, cars, house. Who are you?
Right.
At the end of the day.
That part.
Yeah, I had to learn how to be responsible again. I had to learn how to take care of myself. When I was in sobriety, I was in the houses, of course, for like 8 months, something like that. And I left because they tried to move me around and I didn't like it. So I took my will back in a sense. So I moved out, got my own place, and I almost slid back and went back out and drank again, but I went to a meeting. And that meeting was my 8-month anniversary. And it just reminded me, this is who you are. Sobriety is who you are. And you don't need to stay in the houses essentially to prove this is what your life is now.
Right.
Figure out where you want to go, pay your bills. This is my first place that I ever had by myself with no roommates, so I'm living alone. And it was just about being responsible, paying my bills on time. I had a great job that I was already doing where I was working from home. And then I also had another job where I was working at Kroger to keep me still entrenched in Milford, because Milford was that place that kept me sober. So as long as I kept the foundation simple, that's how I could build my identity. And I just slowly kept building it year after year, working the same job, doing the same thing every single day.
Routine.
Just consistently routine.
Structure.
Like just going to the gym or going on walks or just keeping life so simple, not focusing on having a dead set relationship to take me away from myself.
Right.
Like just let me be alone and just figure out what makes me happy on a day-to-day basis and who is Ryan. And Ryan was just somebody who just stayed in the sobriety community, sponsored people, went to meetings every single week, just stayed in Milford, just keeping it simple.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. They always say it's crazy that you usually go back and minister to the people that you were like, or that you once, the people that you once were. So it is good that you're staying in the sobriety community, because I think that that's extremely important.
It's just how you build your identity. It's just how you don't feel lost.
Yeah.
Because even when I wasn't in the houses, I still knew that I needed to be there.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have some type of control over my life, but I didn't want to completely just be told what to do after I already had an idea of what to do. Just because in the sobriety houses, it was different for me. They gave me some type of treatment where I was in an apartment with me by myself, and then there was a couple other guys that moved in. So I was already in the workings of going towards living on my own, and then they tried to move me back in the houses with 15 other guys, and I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm already going towards this way. I'm not going backwards.
Yeah.
So because y'all want me to go backwards, I'm just gonna get the fuck out of here. And I was taking my will back, and I had to realize that's what brought me to that meeting. And it was like, yeah, you took your will back, but stay here.
Yeah.
Don't go that way.
Right.
That was definitely hard for me too. That you want me to live where? You want me to do what? Because anywhere I ever moved, I was at my own place. When I went to Tennessee, I was only on campus for a semester. Then after that, I got an apartment. I'm like, no. Came back to Michigan, got another apartment. I'm like, I'm not staying with Milford 15 Beach. Whew.
Right?
And not only that, you don't know nobody. You don't know habits. I'm sleeping on this little ass bed. Hell no. And that's one thing that kept me relapsing, because I'd be like you said, take your will back. I got this, don't worry about it. And people just like, okay. Especially times, all right, I'll talk to you in a couple weeks. A couple weeks come.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did it again. So I think that's the hardest part, man. And not having an identity. And I don't know if one of y'all can relate to it. Because when you know yourself, you can go through a process comfortably. And I think that's one thing. Early in my recovery, I didn't have my identity. So I would rush my process, because other people would be like, oh, you should do this, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you should be doing this. Why you ain't got this? Why you ain't that? So I'm rushing the process rather than sitting back, letting the process go, doing what I'm supposed to do, how I'm supposed to do it, when it's supposed to be done. And it's like now, I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, you ain't got that? You staying here tonight? Like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you're probably exactly where you're supposed to be in the moment. Well, you are exactly where you're supposed to be in the moment.
I know.
That's the thing.
But it's you gotta definitely have an identity, because that identity gives you security to do the process.
Yeah.
It definitely gives you the security.
Yeah. I was thankful to move back home, and I probably for a month. I thank God for I have a mentor in Christ, which is Lady Kathy, the first lady of my church. I remember calling her when I had to move back home, and I was like, I don't want to move back home. And this was before I even got sober. I was still using it when I moved back home, and she was like, this might be exactly where God needs you to be in this moment, and she didn't know I was going through addiction at the time. So she was just like, just trust God, trust the process. You don't know what he's sending you back home for. You don't know, not what he's sending you back home, because you send yourself back home, but you don't know what he's allowing you to be able to go through this for. And she would speak that into me very early, not knowing that later on, a year later, that I would get sober, and that I needed that being at home with my parents to remain sober. Because if I got sober on my own, in my own place, but I would have probably been using again, because my neighbor 3 doors down was my plug. So it was like everything really did work out exactly how it was supposed to be. Now me and my mom are rebuilding our relationship, and it's just it's so much deeper. Now I'm getting closer with my grandma and helping my aunt, and I don't know, it's crazy how God even lined that up. But I definitely had to rebuild my identity from scratch when I first got into recovery, because I didn't lose everything outwardly. It was inwardly where I lost everything. So it was I had to rebuild my morals. I had to rebuild my integrity. I had to rebuild what type of friend I was going to be. I had to rebuild the type of boundaries that I would create, what I would stand for. What are you standing for real? If $1 million was put in front of you right now, to do some shit, like just because there's some money on the floor, like would you do it? Or like would you be like, no, my morals and my boundaries and my integrity is more important? Like that type of stuff was like what I had to begin to rebuild, and that came with identity, but that also came with me really deepening my relationship with God, because I strongly believe that God already gives us an identity, right? But then we come into a world where everything's just thrown on top of what he's already given us. Like all of these different things, like addiction and all of these trauma and all these things we go through. And now we have to like take all those off to see really who we are made to be. Like, who are we truly made to be? So I find myself a lot in scripture. Like I read a lot in scripture, and I relate myself to a lot of things in scripture for me to know truly what my identity is. If he said he formed me and created me for a greater purpose, then that is exactly what it is. And that's exactly why I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, so that helped me a lot. And then also being in a sober community, I had to stay around that community at first. And I did lose a lot of friends, like in the process, but it really helped me stay grounded in my recovery, because like I was saying to you, I do believe that we have to go back and minister to who we once were. So if my identity once was, because when I sit in meetings, this is one thing that I know it pissed the older people off. I don't sit in meetings and say, hey, I'm Brittany, I'm an addict. I don't say that. I say, hey, I'm Brittany, and I'm a recovering addict, or sometimes I might even say I'm a delivered addict, because I don't want to speak that over myself if that's what God has delivered me from. I truly believe that God has delivered me from addiction. So I'm not about to go sit in meetings and speak over myself that I'm an addict, right? They think it's crazy, whatever. But I do believe that I came out of it to go back and minister to women who are addicts. Now, it's a process that I'm learning to, like we talked about earlier, that I'm learning to open myself up about. Like, it's hard for me, it's like an onion, I gotta peel certain layers back. Okay, I'll let them know a little bit of this, I'll let them know a little bit of this, but I do know ultimately that my identity is forming and that I'm meant to help people in sobriety. So that was long spiel, but yeah, that was long spiel.
And I say, I'm Ryan, I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic.
Yeah.
That's normally what I say.
Yeah.
Just because, I never say I'm an alcoholic and just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I always, since day one, I heard it in rehab. One person was like, why would I say I'm just an alcoholic? I'm grateful to be here. I'm recovering. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And I just kept that same message throughout my entire time in sobriety.
Yeah.
It's just how I do it every single day. And it's just amazing. No matter, like, just to see your process, and I know exactly, it's heavy. Mm-hmm. And it's like you just got to keep carrying that weight, because as you keep moving forward, it gets a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
And the more that you peel back that onion, it's going to get lighter.
Yeah, and lighter.
So just keep going. Honestly.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So what we were just talking about was I spoke about a little bit changing my environment, but how important was changing y'all environment in your social circle after coming into recovery?
It was important, because my environment was, I went back to home, and I was always told, don't go back home, don't go back home. I'm like, I moved in with my parents, and I seen the reason why not to. So when I say don't go back to your environment, it's not for the reason of the triggers to this or that, or that the dope house down the street, the liquor store down the street. It wasn't none of that. It was, my stepdad got a grown ass man living in his house. He probably getting irritated. I'm getting irritated because he getting irritated. I'm doing recovery, so what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go drink my irritation. So I had to just go into that uncomfortable zone and move into a recovery house. So, because even being in a recovery house, especially out there in Roseville, it's a shit ton of liquor stores right there. You walk down the street, you go see liquor bottles all over the place. And I guess whatever they doing now, which is freaking the Nas stuff, you see that all over. So the environment was just a place where you could breathe. That was my definition of changing my environment. I could breathe a little bit while I recuperate, while I get myself together and give my family time to heal.
Yeah.
So that was just from my point of view. Other people may be something different though.
Got you. Okay, really quick, what time is it? Let's stop it.
8:01.
8:01? Okay, so it's like We started at 7:15.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, got it. Okay.
Question. What is it?
How important was changing your environment in your social circle?
It needed to be done. I needed to pull myself out of my parents' basement because all I was doing was just rotting there. I was just literally just there, sitting in the basement and not doing anything with my life. So once I was able to go to Meridian, I was like, I ain't going back there. And then because I needed to change my environment, it allowed me to think clear. So I went from Meridian to Milford, and then with Milford, they give you that whole reset button. They give you, all right, make your bed in the morning, meet with your case manager. And it's just like you said this last week, it was like I was a baby all over again. I had to learn. It was like one step after another, one step here, one step there. So, okay, pay my bills here. Okay, now I gotta look for a place. All right, let me go ahead and get my budget together. All right, my car costs this much, insurance costs that much. How much is gonna be rent? How much money am I bringing in? Okay, great. Now I see this spreadsheet here and it's like, I can think clear. But if I was in my parents' house, I would have that fall because I was just like, it was just that environment where I would just go back to that and I would just see that's who I was. So it's easier to just go back to that.
Right.
But being away from that environment, this is the new identity I'm creating.
Yeah.
This is the more responsible Ryan. This is the Ryan who takes care of himself and is an adult, who pays his bills, who checks his credit report, who makes sure like, all right, how much money is on this credit card? Can that get paid off this month? So on and so on and so on. And that was where my environment needed to just change. And I was like, I'm never going back to that again. I just never wanted to because it was no longer who I was.
Yeah, right, for sure. Yeah, I just create a routine because with me becoming sober at my parents' house, I had to create a different routine, what that looked like still being there. But also I had to change my social environment, right?
Yep.
And then I had to immerse myself into meetings, into church, into fellowshipping, but with the right crowd of people. So that really helped me a lot, but also at home what I had to do and what I recommend anybody to do early in recovery, create a routine. Like make your bed every morning, get up at a certain time. My therapist gave me a recommendation to get up and like splash water on your face so you don't lay in bed. Like give yourself grace though at first, like even if you can't, you might miss some days, but definitely get into a routine and that structure, going to the gym. So that way I'm not rotting in bed because because I'm still living at home, I was in addiction, I would just rot in bed all day and then get up and leave or not make my bed or my room would be a mess or I wouldn't steward my space well. And now I just am intentional about storing in my space well and storing in myself well. So yeah, I think that's important. I think that was a really good question. How you change your environment in recovery.
I like the Milford, because I wish I would have took advantage of Milford, because I went there. And I feel like I had to be taking it to like the most uncomfortable, never want to go there. Simba, this is not Wakanda. What is it? For real. Because when I went to Milford, I think I became a better liar, which is sad to say. Like I became more manipulative. I was just, okay, cool. I just go to these meetings, go, all right, whatever. Like when you want to go do something or whatever, you gotta do a little pat out loud. And I think I told them I was going to like my mom's house. I was in fucking Tennessee. I was like, as long as I get back before 4:00 Sunday. And in my head, I'm like, I gotta get a flight. I gotta get to the airport. I gotta do all this. And in my addicted head, I knew it.
Right.
We could do anything. We're addicted.
As long as I got a bottle.
Yeah.
Straight. And it was crazy but Milford was a comfort zone. It was like, oh, it's nice, beautiful lakes, and I could be comfortable here. But snatched that all away, that's where I had to find myself. I had to be snatched away from anything remotely pleasant. And just sheets to just fucking figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, man, I applaud you for that one.
Yeah. It just worked. It worked for me. I saw the opportunity. Like I was talking about last week, I just saw the opportunity at my rock bottom. This is my rock bottom. This is my chance to start over. This is my chance to create my identity. My old friend group, gone. My old lifestyle, gone. Who am I now? Right here in Milford.
Right.
It's my identity. It's where I go back because it's who I am.
Yeah.
I still give back to that community. I'm there almost every day. Any type of hardship that I face, any type of heartbreak, betrayal, anything like that, go right back to Milford.
That's good. So since you said that, let's end this off with the question of what keeps you aware of, run it over. Okay, so since we are speaking on that, let's end this off with one more question. What helps keep you aware of your identity today?
Yeah, like I was saying before, just when I know I'm triggered in any type of fashion, I know what I need to do. I need to stop, I need to pause, I need to be able to regulate myself, and I need to take into account what's my role in it, what's my part in it. Not point the finger because of what somebody else has done, even though it's easier to do that. How can I make myself better? Can I go work out? Can I go on a walk? Can, if the weather's nice and it works out, can I go swimming? I mean, it's anything where it's like I can just get out of my own head and I can get to nature and I can get grounded. That's what will stop me from losing myself and losing the identity that I've already created for myself.
Yeah.
Because I know who I am. I know what my triggers are. I know what is right, what's wrong, what's dark, what's light. And I know what's going to bring me back to center.
Yeah.
For me, I would have to say my strength. When I get up every day looking, just walk down the street to see something and be like, man, I was almost there. So it kind of brings me to my identity of like, man, you are stronger than who you think you are. You're more capable of anything that you think you can.
Right.
So just my strength and perseverance.
Cool. I would say definitely knowing that I have a spirit that lives inside of me that is God's spirit, and that as long as I stay still enough and as long as I slow down and try not to move so fast, I can literally feel God. I can feel conviction. I can feel when I know that I'm going in the wrong direction. I feel when I'm off, but I have to take that time to be still. I have to take that time in the morning to chill, or that time before bed to chill. Just think before I do a lot of things. Slowing down really helps me stay in my identity because I'm able to hear God. I'm able to watch if he's delivering a message through somebody else or if he's speaking to me in general. So I think that helps me a lot. Yeah.
Shit.
This was great.
Yes.
But we want to thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Sober Talk presented by Hunter House. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.